Okay, so let me copy that. Okay, so here's the URL. Okay, there you go. So everybody can grab that now, and you can subscribe to the videos, and you can watch all the videos if you want. Okay, the ones that are yours will be ColElit19. The first one is ColElit19.0, and then this one will be ColElit number 1. Okay, just give me a yes that you've got it and you've subscribed. So that way you'll be alerted every time a new video comes up. Okay, Chris, you're good. Good. Okay. So you just click on the link and you go to just click on it and there'll be a little subscribe button. That way you can see all of the videos. You'll be alerted, really subscribe so you can be alerted when your new video is up. Chris and Veronica are good. Okay, good. Helena, Grace, Felix. Okay, good. Felix done, good. Good. Helena, good. So Grace, oh, we got Grace, good. We got Helena, Felix, good. Okay. All right. The other thing I want to do tonight is give you a couple files to download. Okay. So those are the 2 files. You can download both of them. Go ahead and do that now. Let me know when you got them. Just type in a yes. So open them both up. Make sure you enable the Excel sheet. If you're calling from your phone, let me know. Send me an email that you need the files sent to you. Okay. Is anybody using their cell phone tonight? Or tablet, something you can't get the files from? Everybody's good? iPad? Okay, Grace will let you download the files. Might let you do it from the iPad. So Grace, yes, good. Okay. Chris is good. Grace is good. I think. So I know Chris is good. Got it. Okay, good. Just type in got it or good. Felix, good. So I want you to open up the copy of, well, you can open up both of them. We'll do one at a time. So we're still waiting on Helena, and just let me know you got it, Veronica. That you got the files and you've opened them up. Good, Helena, good. Let's give Veronica a chance to open them up. Okay, Veronica, how you doing? They open it up for you? Okay, good. Any questions before we get started? Anybody, anything they want to ask? Good? That's okay. If we got no questions so far, that's fine. Okay, so we have our YouTube link now, so you can watch your videos there. We have the we'll have the for sale by owner script. Why don't we open up that one first, and we'll look at that first. Okay. So for sale by owner script. That's what we're going to look at first. Okay, so this is designed just to give you a framework of how to make a phone call or ask questions. I've broken it up into two parts. There's a part for if it's a realtor. There's a part if it's a the actual seller. So FSBO stands for sale by owner. So when we go through that, pretty simple. Just open that up. Okay, good stuff. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. We'll go through it together. Okay. So when you get this file, we're gonna look at for sale by owner first. Everybody can see that fine, yes? There we go. Okay. All right. Yeah, I can make it a little bit bigger actually. Okay. So so this is very simple. These 4 questions are good for anybody. Okay, so hello, this is Sam. I'm calling about the house that you have listed for sale. Is this good time to talk? Right, always good to ask that. Is the home still available? Right, sale. That's a good question to ask. Right, you don't want to waste time. Can you tell me a little bit about the house? Just let them explain to you about the house, whatever they want to say. Try not to interrupt them. Right, collect as much information as you can get. Now, if it's a realtor, ask, do you know why they're selling? So we're trying to look for motivation there, right? We get paid for solving problems. So if we can understand better why they're selling, maybe we can create a solution that's really well for the seller, okay? Not just that the house is for sale, there's usually a motivation, almost always a motivation, right? Why else would you sell, go through the process of selling? We want to better understand the seller's mindset, what they're looking for, and how we can help them, or if we can help them at all. How much are they asking? How much are you asking? It should be how much are they asking? So change that to they. Sorry, I modified this document. Usually just did it yesterday actually with another class. Did it for the actual owner. So how much are they asking? How soon does the seller need to move? Again, we're trying to see if they run out of time, run out of money, or both. That's part of their motivation. They need to move. If they don't sell the house, what are their plans? Right? So if they say they're moving because the parent's not well and they want to move closer to the family because they need to take care of them, it's a legitimate question to ask. You know, if they don't sell the house, what are their plans? What are they going to do? Are they going to move and rent it out? What are they going to do? So it's a good legitimate question once you set that up with why they're selling. Okay, is the seller, sorry, that should be ER. Is the seller open to a VTB or seller financing? Okay, so ask the realtor that. Are they open to seller financing? Then we have, do you know if there's anything that needs repair on the house? Let them explain that to you, collect the information. If I were to make a cash offer with flexible closing dates based on what the seller needs, what is the best price that they would take, which is asking for the best price that they could take. Can we set up a time to talk tomorrow afternoon? I'd like to discuss this with my business partners. Thank you for your time. I'll call you at whatever time. And it doesn't have to be tomorrow or the next day, whenever you decide you want to talk to them, okay? So this is what we would say to a realtor, okay? Okay, any questions? Pretty simple. Just follow the steps, collect the information. Okay, good. All right, now let's go to a seller. So why are you selling? Right? Same questions basically, but we're directing them at the seller. How much are you asking? How did you come up with that price? Now we can ask that question because it's the seller. Here we can change this to, because this is just for the seller, do you, how soon do you need to move? You don't have to ask, that is for the seller. So we can put, how soon do you need to move? Simple question, I need to move by this time or this time or this time. If I don't sell the house, if you don't sell the house, what are your plans? So same kind of idea. We're trying to understand better the problem that they're dealing with, the time factor, if there is one, money problems, if there is one, so we can better create a deal that works for both parties. Okay. Can you tell me if you have a mortgage on the house? That information will help me figure out the best offer I can make you. Best to do this all in one sentence or one breath. My apologies, it is two sentences. If they're uncomfortable with that question, just simply say, hey, no problem. If you're uncomfortable with any of the questions that I ask you, please let me know. It's not a problem at all. I'm just trying to find out what kind of deal we can put together. So don't feel too worried about answering that question. If you're polite and you're honest about helping people, most people will be okay. Some will be upset or say, that's none of your business. Again, just say, oh, no problem. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. Just trying to make the best possible deal for both of us. Do you know if there's anything that needs repair in the house? If I were to make you cash offer of flexible closing dates based on what you need, what is the lowest price you'll take? Again, you can reword that. Really, I would stick to the script until you get comfortable with the language. Can we set up a time to talk tomorrow afternoon or whatever you would like? Thank you for your time. I'll call you whenever, right? So that's basically the same thing. They're basically the same thing, just modified slightly. We're just trying to, we're trying to find motivation. That's really what we're trying to find is motivation. And if you remember last week, this is we need to understand. Sorry, my apologies. From our class, we want to understand, what's the motivation? Have they run out of time? Have they run out of money? So why don't we just put that in there too? What is their motivation? Let's just put out of time or money. There we go. Are they out of time? Are they out of money? Or are they out of both? Right? I can repost this if you guys want, or you can make these changes on your own sheet. Totally up to you. There we go. Okay. All right. So that's the sheet. Any questions about any of that? Does that make sense to you? Anyone? Life is good. Pretty simple, right? Okay. So do you want me to repost this, or did you make the changes with me? Okay, good. Okay, good. Let me change. I think it might have changed it already. Let me double check something. 1 second. I was saving. Let's see if it changed it. No, it didn't. What were you saying? 1 second. 1 second. I want to check if I can find that file for you. Yesterday. Okay. All right. We made the changes. Great. Let's do this. Let's look at the second thing that I sent you, copy of 104. Uh, I put meeting US there because this is calculating for US. Okay. What's the best way to create a team of a lot of people are working the same one? What is the best way to create a team if a lot of people are working for someone else? How do you mean, Chris? Everybody that you deal with basically is has a stake in your success, right? For real estate, so they want you to succeed, right? They want you to make money. So um, the best way to create a team is to have a real estate deal that you're working on. So mortgage brokers, realtors, when you're in the midst of a deal, that's when you can really start to develop those relationships. So the team will develop as you develop uh, the deals that you're doing. Uh, is that what you're talking about, Chris? Am I on track there? Yeah. So the best thing to do is look for properties. The team will develop, and you'll find out who you like, who fits with you, based on your interactions with them. So just run deals, and as you go through them, you'll develop those relationships. Does that make sense? If you come across somebody, you can always talk to them. We talked about how to interview or questions you want to ask them. Um, if you come across a realtor, mortgage broker, contractor, strike up a conversation for sure. Ask them those questions to see if there's a fit there. But in the sake of, and I've attempted the other way too. When you talk to these people, if you're making phone calls to realtors or mortgage brokers and you don't have a deal in hand or something that you're looking at, or there's something, in play, um, it's tougher to develop, and understand what they can do for you. Best to, in the midst of a deal, to really understand what they can and cannot do for you. Does that make sense, Chris? Good. All right. So I'm going to, after the first call, will you give the following script? After the first call, will you give the following script? How do you mean, Helena? When the seller responded. I'm having a hard time. So when you call a for sale by owner, you use the script. If you're reaching out to a realtor that's selling a house, use the script. The first conversation, is that's what that script's for. So what am I going to do if this is trying to find houses? Sell the owners, correct? You mean for sale by owners, right? Is that what you mean? Okay. So what am I going to do? Try to find houses. This is just a script for you in general, just to, when you're talking to someone or you're approached by a property, these are questions you want to ask, period. So this is a script at any time, phone, if you're emailing them, these are the kind of questions you want to ask. You could put this in an email, could you please answer the following questions. It flows better, obviously, in a phone conversation because of the back and forth. But you could put parts of it in an email trying to find out information about a property. You're going to come across properties. These are questions you want to know or ask to better understand the situation of the individual to see if you can help them. You're really trying to understand how can I find out what this person really wants. Now, obviously, the sale of the house is an action for an anticipated result. But what's the cause of that action, right? What's causing them to sell the house? Is it what's the motivation? That's really what we're trying to understand. Because if the motivation was passive income, well, then a VTB seller financing makes sense. If they're getting rid of it because of loss of job or moving, we would develop a deal or an offer based on what they're trying to achieve. Does that make sense? So you could use that, Veronica, anytime. I was trying to reach to the seller, but none of the realtors knew the contact name or email to reach to. So realtors, unless they're the second or third, fourth realtor, which is basically just marketing, the actual realtor obviously knows the seller's name and email, but they're not going to tell you that. They don't want you to talk to the seller. They want you to talk to them. So this is why we have questions for realtors versus questions for the seller. So once a realtor represents a seller, you're not going to meet the sellers until maybe you go to the house or you're sitting across from them negotiating. Even then, you might not see them at all. The realtor is the representative of that seller. They're going to be the person that's going to get you the information or not. Does that make sense? So asking them for that information, for the most part, is going to get you a big, big donut egg, big donut in the sense of collecting information. The other questions you can ask, obviously, is there any repairs, stuff like that. But asking them for the contact information of the seller, that's probably not going to bear a lot of fruit. Does that answer your question? Did you think it better to find a good realtor who I can work with? I think both. I mean, I don't really understand a buying realtor in the scheme of things, their function. I understand what their function, my apologies. I don't understand the value that they add. You can do that. You can have a realtor finding properties for you. Sure, you can. A realtor, a selling realtor, someone who represents the seller, when you talk to them directly and you don't have realtor representation, often what they can do is they can take both commissions, the whole commission. Whereas if there's a buying realtor, they have to split it. So I think that, when you need a realtor, get a realtor. When you don't. So if you have a realtor and you're developing a relationship to find your properties, there's nothing wrong with that. That's totally okay. I think you just take what the environment gives you, what the economy gives you, and you do what's appropriate for that situation. I think that if you have a realtor that's looking for properties, like I said, that's great. But you don't need one, right? You don't have to have one. So we'll take it a property at a time, Veronica. That's what I would say. Just take it a property at a time. Just keep evaluating, keep moving forward, and we'll go from there. What's the best way to approach a person if you meet the seller in person for the first time, like you met them accidentally for the first time? So Grace, I would say, that's if you meet them for the first time, it's just an accidental meeting. You're going to talk about what you do. I think that those questions are appropriate after you establish that you're a real estate investor, right? And that's that's with the business cards and simple business card property solutions. So I think that um, same questions are appropriate. Same questions, build you build a little rapport, right? If you don't just jump in right away. Introduce yourself, let them introduce themselves, tell them that you're a real estate investor, and it'll come out naturally, believe me. And if you mess up, who cares, right? I mean, it's no big deal. You're gonna do it a lot. So practice asking those questions. I think is the most important thing. If you miss one, big deal. You can find out later. But practice those questions in normal conversation. You should be okay. Does that work for you, Grace? Excellent. Okay. So any other questions before I get into the sheet itself? The I want us to use this sheet. I just find it simpler than the other sheet. I know you played around with the other one. This is a new one to learn, but basically it's the same things that we had in the other one. It's just formatted differently. Okay, so let's share my screen again. So everybody has that open, right? Did everybody get? So I think Maria, you just joined, yes? Right? Is that right? Maria, you there? Okay. Did you get the file? I don't think you did. These two files. Okay, so don't worry about the FSBO script. Leave that one alone. Just grab the copy of the 104, the second one, the 22 kilobyte. Because the for sale script, that script is needs to be modified. We just modified it together. So just grab the other one for now. Okay. I think I'm just gonna be right back. I'm just gonna make a couple modifications. One second. So when you have them, Maria, let me know. Four. Color. Okay. Let me go back here. Let me share my screen. Screen. Good. Good. So I'm just making these changes here. Folks, you can type in if you remember a change that I made that I didn't put in there. Do you know why they're selling? How much are they asked? How much are they asking? They asking how much are they asking? Okay, how soon does the seller need to move? If they don't sell the house, what are the plans? Is the seller open to BTP seller financing? Do you know if there's any repairs to the house? If I were to make a cash offer with the seller, that's right. Okay, can we set the time? Good. We're looking for how much you ask for. Okay, this here. How soon do you need to make? Thanks. That was the other change that I made. Okay. How soon do you need to move? To sell a house, what are your plans? Okay, there we go. Okay, give me 1 second. Beautiful. Okay, now it's saved. Okay, I'll bring that up in a second, okay? So let's bring up this now. Okay, everybody's got this in front of them? I don't have that, Sam. The last email I have is your invite. What do you mean, Grace? Which one? You didn't get the, hold on 1 sec. Okay, let me get rid of, hold on 1 sec. Bring this up again. Okay, I just want to make sure everybody has these files. 1 second. Good. So this one is the FISBO that's been updated, should be updated. And then we're going to do this one. This is the US one. Okay? Does everybody have these files? Now, so Grace, do you have these files? So you can copy these files right here. And this is the YouTube link. No, you can actually copy them. Yeah, you can upload those files, download those files. Maria, are you on a cell phone? Maria, are you able to download those? You see the download button? Maria, can you hear me? Maybe I lost your voice there. Maria, can you? Oh, there you go. Okay, you're typing. Are you talking to me or Grace? I can hear you. I have the files. Good. So everybody has these files, right? Oh, sorry. Okay, it was Grace. Okay, Grace, have you got these files? Apologies, Maria. Grace, do you have these files now? You have you. So Grace, you're on a cell phone. Is that right? So Grace, send me an email and I'll send you those files. Okay? If you're on your phone, iPad, but I cannot download. Okay, Grace, just send me an email. Okay? Perfect. All right. Let's do this. All right. So everybody else have this open, please, and screen. All right. So what we're going to do is walk through this one together. It's similar to the other one, just formatted different. Okay, so let's take an example of a property. So we have a $300,000 property. Okay, that's the price. Let's say that there's $25,000 in repairs. Okay, so the purchase price is what we can get it for. So let's say we get it for 275. Well, let's make it simple. 300,000 for now. Okay. Okay. So the purchase price plus repairs is 325. Now, what's the ARV, the after repair value? Let's say because we fix it up, it's worth 350,000. Okay. All right. It's a 2-unit building. Okay. And what's the rent is $2,000. Okay. Monthly gross rent. Everybody with me? You can all type in this stuff with me. Okay, so we have a $300,000 house. Repairs are $25,000. Purchase price is $300,000. Purchase price plus repairs puts us at $325. ARV after we fix it up is $350. Okay. Maria, do you have two screens open? Maybe. Anybody else having sound issues? No. So Maria, I would say if you're hearing two voices, I would close out every screen and relog in. It's better now? Okay. All right. Sometimes that happens when you have more than one screen up. So everybody here's okay now? We're good? Okay, good. Sometimes, this in the beginning when we set these calls up, sometimes this happens. So don't worry. We'll sort them out as we go, okay? So gross revenue is 24,000. It's going to be based on the monthly gross rent, right? So we multiply that by 12. That gives me the gross revenue, right, for the year. Vacancy, maintenance, and property management is 20%. That's pretty standard, right? And then we have exact expenses. Now, these two I want to alert you. There's another tab, okay? So here's the tab, okay? So if I put in $1,000 for rent, or sorry, for the taxes, okay? So if I have exact actual expenses, this number here needs to be put to 0, okay? So that number is put to 0 because I have the exact numbers. Say the insurance is $2,000 a year. Okay. The taxes. Insurance is $1,200 a year. Okay. Water and sewer, they pay all the other utilities. And let's see, maintenance, management, and vacancy are here. I would reflect what I know. If you don't know exactly what the vacancy, maintenance, property management in, actually leave these numbers in until you find out otherwise. Okay. So if I know the expenses, I'll put them in. If I don't though, I'll just put 25 in. Okay. It's pretty good estimate. Is everybody good with that? Okay. So if I know what it is, I'll just put 0 there and put my numbers in. Okay. If I go back over here, you can see now the numbers It's 13.3 because the exact expenses I have in here, right? I put the exact expenses in. But if I don't know the exact expenses, it's just better off to estimate it at about 25%. If we come back here, we'll see that it's changed to 6,000. Does that make sense to everybody? It's just, so if you don't know, you don't know, right? Just put in 25%. If you do know, put in the exact expenses. The main thing is to keep in mind is if I know the exact expenses, I need this number to be 0, okay? And then I'll put the exact expenses, okay? This we can also change like I showed you, right? I can just change the percentages, right? But this is a standard, you can see this adds up to 20%, which is pretty normal. Could be higher or lower based on what it is. I wouldn't say, I would never go less than 5% vacancy. I don't care if it was 0, which is really not realistic. Never go less than 5. Maintenance, 5 if it's an older place or a rooming house, you might be at 10, it'll automatically change. It'll automatically change when you put in the, anything I change over here is going to change over here. You can see this has changed, right? So maintenance, 5% is a good number. Management, if you're in a very competitive area, this might be an 8. If you're not, and it's sort of remote, it might be 12%. 10 is the standard. Okay. How do you figure out vacancy percentage? So vacancy, you'll have data on vacancy from the seller. They may not provide it to you initially, but if it's a rental property, the rent rolls, or them showing an income and expense statement will show, for the last couple of years at least, because you want 2 years, kind of a minimum you want. You'll see what the vacancy rate, how often it's been empty. A property manager will tell you, a good vacancy rate in an area, but vacancy rate should be backed up by some sort of data. I would never go less than 5. You'll hear people say, oh, there's no vacancy in this area. It's always filled up. Even if, people move for a lot of different reasons, even if they're good tenants and they're moving out for whatever reason, that place is going to be empty. So, I wouldn't go less than 5%. Okay, does that make sense? Good. All right, so everybody's clear on the expense side, right, with these expenses, how this works? Everybody's good? Okay, just type in your questions if you have them. Okay, so now we have vacancy, maintenance, and property management being 20%. Our exact expenses, let's change this back to 25 because that's pretty standard. So it's going to say 6,000 over here. So 13,200 is what we're left with. Okay, but based on this, with the gross rent multiplier and look at the cap rate. The cap rate we talked about last week, 0.1%, and the gross rent multiplier we talked about, we want 6 or less. Is this going to be a property that's going to make us money? Well, if I see a cap rate of 4%, and everybody remembers what cap rate represents, right? If I paid cash for the property, that would be my return. So if I paid cash for this property, how much would I get back as a return? 4.1%. So not very high. So if you add financing to that, as we can see here, we're going to have a negative cash flow. But we'll come to that, okay? So we have a $300,000 house. Repairs are 25. I have 325, and the after repair value is going to be worth 350. My problem here with this property, right? What's happening here is that the rent's not enough, right? If this was 3,000, remember the 1% rule? We'd like to see 1%. If I had 3,000 a month, because it's a 300,000, 350,000 really dollar property, I mean, I could start to make this work, right? But if you're running, a cap rate of 4, I'd say it's not going to make money. Okay, you need a cap rate. We need a cap rate of about 6 is kind of the low end of it. I'll show you some examples, but you want about 6%. You don't want this number to be less than 6%. Okay, once it gets less than 6%, it's virtually impossible with financing to make the property work. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? So let's change this back to 3,000 so it makes us some money. Okay, so 6.1 right on the edge. Okay, so we have our values 198,000. Don't worry about this number as much. But the reason that we say 198,000 is it makes 19,800 a month, which would give us a 10% return, right? That would give us a 10% return. If I spent 198,000, I was left with 19,800. If I paid cash, I'd be making a cap rate or a return of 10%, right? That makes sense to everybody? That's just telling us what we would need to pay to get a 10% return if we paid cash. No vacancy. If you don't know the vacancy, you just pay 5%, right? You don't want to, I mean, vacancy is a future event. You can't say for sure exactly what the vacancy is, but the history of the property will reveal what's anticipated, right? A property manager will know the vacancy rate, and that's driven by a lot of different things. Often by simply the rent. If the rent's in market value, rent, then your vacancy should be relatively low. The other thing that can create a high vacancy is, when unfortunately, if you're in a rougher area, where there's government subsidies or housing, unless it's a Section 8 property where you're guaranteed, or it's a government body that guarantees the money you're getting every month, you could have a high vacancy rate there. So you just want to be accurate. So just put 4 for now. Yeah. 5 for now. 5% for now. If you find out when you do more research it's higher, then the number in. We want to be accurate. I wouldn't be scared if this was 30. It's not the number as so much as you being accurate, so you can find out if you're making money or not. That's all. Okay. So if we come back over here, we see that the cap rate, we like a 10, but the cap rate's 6. Okay. If I paid cash for the house, that's what I would make per month, and that would be my return on my money. Now, that is excellent per month. That's wonderful. But this sucks, right? 6.1% is not worth, for a return on investment, it's not worth it. So we're going to add financing to this property to make it more profitable. And that doesn't mean in cash. It means more profitable as an investment return. We want to increase that return. Okay. So if I come up here, and this is a residential property, so I can get 80%. First thing I'll start with is the conventional 2080. It's 20%. I'll put 20% down. The people give me 80. What percentage would you say the interest rates that you're paying right now? What's realistic? What's the interest rate you're paying right now? Anybody? What interest rate do you think is realistic for your market? What's the best kind of interest rate you guys can get? So I'm asking the group, what kind of interest rates can you get in your area? Three to four. Okay. Does everybody, we'll use 4, okay? We'll use 4. That's right in the middle, okay? So 4% interest rate. We go to the bank, we get 80%, 240,000. We get a 4% interest rate, a 30-year fixed mortgage. That's our mortgage payment per month, right there, $1,146. For the year, we pay $13,750. That's the mortgage, right? Interest and principal, and this takes up 38% of our money. Okay, of the money that we're bringing in, it takes up 38%. Not really important, just a number, that's there. So I come down here and I see, okay, the cash flow per year, is 6,000. Cash flow per unit is 252, and my return is 10%. Is this a good property? I'm asking you, the group, is this a good property? Needs, actually, the 10% is actually the threshold, Chris, just a reminder. If you're not sure, here it is right here. Goals for a good deal. So cash on cash return, 10%. We got that. We got cash flow 100 per unit. We got that, right? And invested in the deal, we'd like that to be 10% or less. We have 20 in. So the only area that we're not, we like to improve on is this part. But the other two, we've met the criteria. Okay, you see that? So goals for the deal, we want 10% higher. Cash flow, we like $100 or more per unit. So this is actually a good deal other than it's asking us for 20%. Okay, so this is a good deal. Okay, now can we improve this deal? Can we improve this deal? So, and this is just something here I'll come back to. Don't worry about this right here. Just I want you to focus on this area here. We got 10% return, and we got $252.10 per month per unit. So we've met our goals there, but we'd like to improve the deal if possible. And how can we improve this deal? How can we improve this deal? What are some suggestions on how we can improve this deal? A few ways we can improve it. Make less money from make less money from own pocket. Yep, so less money from our own pocket. Let's see what we can do here. So let's say we get an investor to give 10%. And let's say we do a 30-year mortgage and we give them 5%. Okay? We come down here and we look at this. Has this deal improved? Has this deal improved for us? Yes, absolutely. So less cash flow, yeah, but now we're making 13.7, almost 14%, and we have $30,000 in our pocket because we got someone else to give us the 30. Now the question becomes, can I get an investor at 5%? Well, let's say we want to give him 10. Shouldn't be too tough, but let's see if 10 works for us. Okay, so let's say we got a loan for 30,000 from an investor, a private money loan, 30-year mortgage at 10%. Does this property work? Does it work? That's your cash flow. That's your return on investment. Is it work? It's close, right? It's close. But yeah, see, we like this to be 10. So this is what I would suggest in this, let's go 9%. 9% works. How about 9.5? And what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out what's the maximum offer I can give someone. So look at that. So I can offer an investor up to 9.5. This is what's going to help you here is knowing what's the maximum I can offer to an investor. So you might have investors that want more than that. They want 12. Well, you can't do it. You can't do it because it's not going to work for you. They might say 7. Well, then I'd put 7 in. But you should know what the maximum is based on your numbers for what you can offer. Now, how many of us could get a loan, money loan for 9.5%? Well, it's there. That's a great return for someone who doesn't have to worry about anything except putting up the money. That's a big deal. And you can see that that's added a mortgage payment of $52, a second mortgage. But at the end of the day, we're making 10% and $125. Okay, $125 a door. Does that make sense to everybody? So do you accept a bit less than 10? But I accept. It was 9 point. I think it was 9 point. No, 9.6. 9.6. I might accept that. 9.6. I don't want you to take less. I really don't want you to take less. 10's the number. I want you to use 10. Okay? 10's the number. Okay. Under here, you see recoup repairs and cash flow. Okay, so it will take me cash flow month 103 months to recoup my $25,000 that I invested based on this cash flow. Okay, and you saw that change because if I have a higher cash flow, it's going to take less months. But I brought in an investor, I got a great return. It'll take me that many months to get my $25,000 if that's what I'm doing. Typically, there's a lot of different ways you could do it. You could refinance it. You could create a payment or some sort of loan for the rehab. There's lots of ways to do it. This is just an indicator based on your cash flow. So 103 months, which is, let's do this. The years. It would be 8.65 years if I change that to years. It doesn't really matter. I'm just doing it for me. Years. Okay? Okay, 8.65 years to get the 25,000. Okay? Now, what if I got an investor to give me all the money? Okay? How much can I pay that guy? Well, your return is going to be infinite, but you can't pay him 10% because you're losing money. Right? That's not good. I still got to make 100 a door, right? So, how much could I pay? Let's try 6%. Oh, not quite. Only $72. You see that? I need to be a little bit higher, so I can't offer 6, maybe 5. Well, 5 gets me close, but not quite there. 4%. So I could offer maybe 4%. I could offer roughly 4%, a little bit higher. 4%, that would get me 100 a door and no money in the deal. Is this a better deal for us? Is this a better deal for us, folks? Yes, because there's no money in it. Right, we have no money in the deal, okay? The other thing I could do is I could get a partner to put up that money, 60,000. And if I put up a partner, the partner's giving me the money, then there's no interest, right? There is no interest, okay? So if there's no interest, there's no payment, I have no money, infinite return, and I'm bringing in 252.10, but I have to share that with the investor, yes? I have to share that money. So if I go over here and I look, the investor is getting put up 60,000. The cash flow is 252 per month, right? They get half of that, right? You got to remember there's 2 units, right? So they get 252, you get 252, okay? The capital gains on the property. How much do they make on the property when we sell the property in 5 years? And we're just assuming, 2 years. So we decide we're going to sell this property in 2 years, okay? If we wanted it for 5 years, say we're going to sell in 5 years, this is how much the investor would make on their property. The return on investment would be 130% if we sold it in 5 years, okay? So they would make from cash flow, that's how much they would make, and from capital gains, it'd make 62,000 because we'd be splitting this money here. Look on your sheet. There's something here. Don't worry about that. Let's do this again. Hold on one sec. So it's the same as yours. Okay. So let's go back over here. I made some changes here. What did I change? Okay, so now I have an investor giving me all of the money. So that's going to be 60,000. So there's only the one mortgage payment. We're splitting the money though. 252 per unit. So there's 2 units. If I go back over here, let's go here first. So the starting value of the property is 350. Remember? So if we put the money in the property, 25,000, it's worth 350,000, right? The ARV, right? So this is an appreciation, right? So if we think the property is going to appreciate the average, say 5% a year, okay? So 5 and 5, that's what the property is going to profit in 5 years in value, 144,000. So if we come over here, we can tell the investor, look, on cash flow, for 60 months, 5 years, you're going to make 15,000. On the property, you're going to split with me, 144,000, which is 72,000. So your total income, 87,411 in 5 years. And what's the return on investment? 145%. Is that a good return for your investor, for your partner? Is that a good return for your partner? Sure it is. It's amazing. It's amazing. And you, by the way, don't forget, you're still getting half of this if you sell in 5 years. So you get $72,285. But you also get this cash flow per month, right? Because there's 2 units, $252 a month every single month. So you make $15,000 also, okay? Because you're splitting the profits. So basically, you get all this total income. You make $87,000 in 5 years from the one property. Your return though is not 145. Can anybody tell me what your return is? That's your investor makes 145. What do you make? What's your return? They make 145% return. What's your return? Infinite. That's right. Your return is infinite. It's right there. Infinite return. You make an infinite return because you have no money into it, right? We have $0 in this property. And look at the return we're offering an investor. 145%. So this is what you'll see is the more you share the wealth, the better you do and the better the people around you do. And by us offering, to get more people involved, more money involved, this is an actual investor closer to the deal, right? Sorry, this is a partner. They're going to make more money. Does that make sense to everybody? The creative financing, I'd say, is the most fun part of this, okay? Now, tonight I'm not going to go through this part here because this is an interest-only loan, okay? But this is if we did an interest-only loan with a lender or an institution, okay? So it automatically calculates it. We'll talk about next week, okay? Right now, I just want you to play around with this sheet, try different numbers, see what happens. And obviously, if you come across an opportunity, put the numbers in and send it to me if you think it's an opportunity. I'm happy to look at it. What would be really cool is if you use this sheet on your own property, whether you're a renter or an owner, act like you're the owner and put in the numbers and the costs that you know of, right? And see if your property would cash flow in the open market. Okay? Any questions? So you want us to keep looking for FSBOs? No, Veronica, really, it's not just for sale by owners. You can try them. I really just want you to have a script to know what kind of questions you should ask. So you can do that if you want. We're always looking for deals. So yeah, if you want to do that, go for it. Go for it. Any other questions about the sheet? Is everybody good with the sheet, right? You know what to do with it, have fun with it, play around, you know? Yeah, once a day I think working with the sheet, I'd like you to look at, a couple properties a week, evaluating. If you could do one a day, that would be cool. The more you do, the better you get at this evaluation. And like I said, if you come across something, let's look at it. If you don't, don't worry about it. Don't panic. All you should be thinking about is 1 to 2 properties in the next 12 months. So that's all we're looking for. So it's a process, right? Follow the process, follow it, and you'll be fine. Okay. Any questions before we wrap up? Believe it or not, it's been an hour. Okay, great, Grace. I'll send you those files. Okay. No problem. So best thing to do, unless it's pressing, and I'm okay with you getting you. If you have questions, write them down and bring them to our next Thursday night class, okay? Because it shares with everybody. I like sharing the information with everybody, so we all learn. No problem, Chris. Happy to do it. Okay, folks, if you're good, type in yes or Y. No worries, Maria. Type in yes or Y if we're good for the night. Good stuff. All right, so tomorrow, everybody got the My pleasure. Everybody got the link for the videos, right? So make sure you subscribe so when I put the new video up, you'll be alerted. That'll be up probably by tomorrow, the new video, and you'll be able to review this video that we're doing tonight, okay? All right. All right. Everybody have a great night. I want to thank everybody for coming, and I will see you all next week. Has anyone got the WhatsApp up? Yes, I believe that's been set up, right? Has that been set up? Yes. Okay. Good. Good stuff. Only missing Chris. Okay, so Chris, don't